Fam, we got a good one today. Today, we're going to talk about how to level up as a man. Now, I know there's a lot of people who say in today's world it's the easiest time to, level up as a man, to separate yourself from other men. It's the easiest time, easier than ever than it's ever been before. I used to be like, no, it's not. It's actually really difficult until I realized that the majority of people, because I've been on a lot of different calls. My brother is like a Generation Z age, and I've been watching what a lot of younger kids are doing. A lot of younger kids are not on their purpose. They're not on their grind. They are literally underachieving like crazy. Achieving like crazy, right? So a lot of younger kids, they're struggling just to do the basics. They're not waking up on time. They're beating their meat all the time. They're not eating healthy. They're eating junk. They're doing DoorDash. They're playing Roblox. They're just not on the purpose. They're not on the grind. So it really is one of the easiest times to level up as a man and separate yourself just based on those small things, like doing the basics, working out more than 3 times a week, right? Eating a little bit of protein a day, going for walks, not spending a lot of time playing Roblox or scrolling through TikTok will literally separate you just off it. But I wanted to tell you how to take it to the next level and how I've been able to, get in the best shape, improve mentally, improve in different aspects of my life. These things really have helped me. I'm not where I want to be by any means, but I know recently I've had a lot of people reach out to me and they look up to me and they've been inspired by me. So I wanted to give you like a guide exactly how to continue to improve yourself and to continue to level up. So let's get right into it. All right, so your mental diet is going to be one of the most important things. A lot of people are so focused on what's going on. A lot of people are so focused on what's going on in the media, politics, things like that, things that they can't control. You want to focus on things you can control, right? So what you consume on social media, media in general, is going to affect your mind state. All right. So a lot of the news on the news for the past, as long as I've been alive, past 20 years plus, it's always been about, the world's going to end tomorrow, basically. If you watch the news, you think the world's going to end tomorrow because it's so negative and it's so like, you know, fear inducing and just bullshit, and they'll stress you out, right? And if you listen to the news, in 2020, they're like, yeah, student loans are going to be forgiven, so just spend all your money and don't worry about it. So if you follow those directions, then you're in even more debt than you were in 2020, right? So you can't believe the news. You can't really focus on the news because it's always going to be a lot of negativity because negativity draws people in, right? Negativity is what draws people in. So you'll notice that the news is super negative. And when you're in a negative mind state, you're going to have negative emotions. You're going to have negative actions, right? And all negative mind state, you're going to have negative actions. When you have positive mind state, you have positive actions, right? So you can't have a poor mental diet where you're consuming the news, you're consuming controversies, you're consuming, celebrity gossip that doesn't have anything to do with you. You're like, oh wow, why did he cheat on his baby mama? I would never do that if I was with Lauren London or if I was with this chick. Like I know a lot of people focus on that stuff that they can't control, and that's wasting your time. All right, time is your most valuable asset. When you use your attention and your time for bullshit that doesn't matter, that has nothing to do with you. A lot of you guys know about rapper beefs. A lot of you guys know about every concert date for rappers. You know about everyone they dated. You know all this unnecessary information that does not benefit you. Obviously, if you're a media reporter, then you need to know all this shit. But none of you guys are media reporters. You guys are just average jokes, right? So for me personally, when I stopped consuming so much bullshit content and I started to look at more positive things, right? So I would watch more Jeff Loeb's, I would watch more Les Brown, like positive mindset stuff like that, Chris Jones, and they're always in a positive mindset. They're always focused on their goals, and they are where I want to be. So once I started consuming their content more, I started doing what they do more and what they succeeded with or what they're successful with, and that helped me kind of maneuver over as well, right? It was very, very important because everything that they're doing that they're successful in, if I copied that or if I emulated that, then I would get close to the goals as well. Like if they're tracking their macros, hitting the gym consistently, and I'm not doing that and I'm not getting the results I want to, maybe I should do that, right? So I started, doing those things, and it did help me in the long run. A lot of you guys are always, looking at emails, and all your emails are going to be these fake scams and just a lot of advertisement about negative stuff like that, unhealthy food. When you get advertisements on YouTube, even maybe even on this video, it'd be like a McDonald's advertisement or Burger King advertisement, things like that. There's never any healthy food being advertised. There's never positivity being advertised. It's always negativity and negative stuff, 24/7, medication, things like that, guys. So watch your mental diet. If you're spending a lot of time on social media, you need to watch what you're consuming. You can use social media for good or bad. Good or bad. If you're consuming a lot of content on positive mind state, workouts, different meal plan ideas, shit like that, that's okay. But if you're constantly on there and just looking at different trends, looking at girls, shake their, behind and all that unnecessary shit, or looking at celebrity drama, and make sure you're not following the shade room. You can look who I'm following on Instagram. I don't follow a lot of people. I follow either clients just to stalk their stories. So if they eat some bad shit, I can yell at them, or people I know in real life. I do not follow random people. I don't follow chicks because they're always out partying and always saying that they want a man, and then they party the next day. I don't want any bullshit on my feed, bro. All right. Very important. All right, so another thing, this is very, very important. I'm not kidding. Watch anime, not hentai. A lot of you guys look like you watch hentai. Like you guys be at the gym, you guys look weak. Like you guys are weak. You guys smell like freaking bust. So I know you guys are watching hentai, right? And then you guys ask me questions about how to lift weights, how to do this, how to do that. Anyways, anime is going to really be inspiring because anime is basically like your glow up story. Like every coming of age anime has like a glow up story. Like for Naruto himself, he was the lame in class. He literally had my same situation. He was the lamest kid in class. Nobody liked him. And then, he kept saying that he was going to level up. I wasn't as vocal as him, but he kept saying he was going to level up. And then he did level up. You know what I'm saying? And anime shows you that mentors are important. Discipline and hard work is important. Consistency is important. But delaying gratification and having a goal as well is important because Naruto always had the goal of becoming Hokage, right? Nobody believed him, but he spoke it into existence, right? And he manifested it with his words, but also with his actions. It shows you that putting actions behind your words is what makes a goal happen, right? If you just say something and you're not doing any of the shit that you need to do, you're not going to reach a goal. But when you say you're going to become Hokage and you're doing everything that you need to do, you're improving every single day. His trajectory was very slow, right? Like, but it shows you what you can do when you have that hard work, right? Like Sasuke already had all the talent in the world, and he didn't. He worked pretty hard or whatever, but he wasn't as hungry as Naruto. He was hungry. He was definitely hungry, but he wasn't as well versed and good with people as Naruto was. So it's like it shows you what can happen when you really level up. Like a lot of you guys, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of you guys want to be average, right? You guys want to be like 10-10. That bitch is garbage. All right. You guys want to be like her. All right. A lot of you guys want to be like 10-10, blowing that fan and shit. Like, you see what I'm saying? But y'all don't want to put the hard work in. You guys don't want to reach for the stars. A lot of you guys reach to be right above average and you end up being average. Another thing is like solo leveling is literally strength training. It's like, okay, I want bigger shoulders. You get bigger shoulders, I want to get stronger. I want to get a bigger chest. You get a bigger chest, you just keep adding on, adding on, adding on. When you keep leveling up, when you keep adding on different like skills or you keep improving on your physique, that's how you get an aesthetic physique. That's how you get better mentally. That's how you get stronger mentally. You keep adding, adding, adding. A lot of you guys have these low standards and you don't even reach them. You reach low and you don't reach them. It's insane, right? It's insane. So you got to set some high standards and actually follow through and accomplish them. And once you accomplish those, set higher standards and keep going, keep going, keep going. You all heard the saying that once you climb a mountain, find a bigger mountain and climb that one too. All right. Lift weights and build muscle, obviously, guys. If you want to level up, building muscle is going to be very, very important. Now, not only does muscle obviously look good, but it helps you with joint pain and metabolism as well. Your metabolism is going to be faster. And a lot of you guys want that, masculine look, that aesthetic look. Building muscle is going to be your best friend. The more muscle you have, the more fat you burn at rest. Like I said, increases your metabolism. And obviously, a lot of people who want aesthetics, even if you want like a skinnier aesthetic, like a skinny lean aesthetic, you're still going to have some kind of muscle mass. All right. I prefer compound movements because they incorporate more muscle. Obviously, they're like the basics. They incorporate a lot of muscles. That's why they're called compound. But a lot of people skip those. So that's why I like them because, it'll give you a good foundation, good core strength. And worst case scenario, you only have 5 moves that you can do. If it's compound movements, you'll build as much muscle as possible in that situation. All right. And then, of course, once you've built muscle, once you've done a bulk or you built muscle overall, you want to get lean because lean is going to be important, right? Because when you have a lot of fat, like people don't realize this, when you have a lot of fat, the reason you get the titties, right? The reason you get the titties is because you have less testosterone production and more estrogen production, all right? That's what it happens to a lot of you guys. So staying lean, I'm not saying you got to stay 8%. That is pretty difficult. But staying, between, I would say 10 to 18 is like the most realistically closer to 15. Like staying around the 15 range is the most realistic. Your jawline is going to be more angular. You're going to feel more energy, right? You're going to have more ambition. So a lot of the stuff is going to work itself out. When you're looking like this, you feel like shit. You look in the mirror, you don't like what you see, but also you're really going to feel sluggish, and you're not going to be as ambitious because you're not going to have as much testosterone. It's a big deal. Like when you have more testosterone, you will actually be more motivated and more ambitious naturally. You'll wake up with more energy as well, right? A lot of men are overweight and they produce way more estrogen than our ancestors, right? And I'm not gonna blame the foods. I'm gonna blame what you're fucking eating. Because yeah, foods were created, but you can still eat high protein foods, right? The foods are still out there. So let me tell you exactly what you want to eat, guys. All right. So you want to eat more healthy fats. All right. This is what's going to help increase your testosterone levels. So eat more healthy fats. Healthy cholesterol is essential for testosterone production. So as you can see here, we got eggs, we got avocado, good sources of fat. You also got salmon, things like that, right? A lot of people think eggs, butter, and red meat are bad, but they're not. They're healthy fats. If you have eggs and steak for breakfast, you're good. If you have Frosted Flakes and Pop Tarts for breakfast, you're cooked. All right. A lot of people eat like Frosted Flakes, eggs for, I mean, not Frosted Flakes and eggs, Frosted Flakes and Pop Tarts for breakfast and things like that, high sugary foods. That's what's causing you to produce more estrogen and store more fat, eating those insane amounts of carbs. And when you start your morning off with like fast digesting carbs or processed sugar, you're going to crave more processed sugar throughout the day. If you don't believe me, try it and you'll see. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah, because I've been through this shit. All right. It's not just some random shit I'm saying. All right. And then a lot of people say, hey, soy protein healthier. Go vegan. Eggs bad. No red meat. You shut your ass up, man. Shut that shit up. All right. Because soy protein, anyone who goes vegan, you already know you're going to have deficiencies. You're going to feel like shit. All right. Balance is key. All right. The amount of vegetables and fruits that vegans eat is good. Right. But you also want to incorporate, high protein foods, which is going to be meat and eggs. All right. And then, of course, you want to eat more protein because if you're lifting weights, if you're getting lean, you want to maintain, you want to build your muscles when you're lifting weights and trying to get bigger. And then when you're getting lean, you want to maintain your muscle mass, which is where protein is going to come in. Protein is going to make sure that you prioritize, or it's going to make sure that you prioritize maintaining your muscle mass and have more muscle, more testosterone, and you're going to look more aesthetic, which is going to give you more confidence, obviously. And yeah, so eat more lean meats, turkey, chicken, fish, beef. My go-tos, 93.7 ground beef, 93.7 ground turkey, turkey burgers, chicken thighs, salmon, tilapia. There's like a lot of options out there. There's really no excuses. And before you say eating healthy expensive, no, the fuck it's not. You're trying to get organic duck leg and you're trying to get, freaking bison or some shit. Like, nigga, that's expensive, yeah. But if you get some chicken breast from Walmart or you get some ground turkey from Aldi's, it's not that expensive. All right. Now, obviously, I said this earlier. You want to reduce junk food. Let me explain it a little bit more. So, the reason you want to, you want to avoid this shit is because if you keep eating this, it's going to result in fat gain, obviously. And it's a lot of processed sugar. Sugar causes inflammation. The reason you guys have like fat faces, bloating, pimples, and shit like that is because you're eating a lot of this and you're sitting down and playing video games and just eating this all fucking day long. All right. The more fat you have, the more estrogen you produce and the less testosterone you produce, which is why a lot of you guys have the man boobies or the titties, as we like to call them. And more sugar results in insulin resistance, which decreases testosterone. And you guys don't realize like the first bag of Skittles you eat when you're not as insulin resistant versus, when your insulin resistance is way higher and you have a higher A1C, you're going to gain fat faster as you have more insulin resistance. All right. Because obviously your insulin is resistant, so it's not able to break that down. So it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And then it'll become type 2 really quickly. And then you'll have to reverse all that by, so it's better to be preventative than reactive, guys. All right, getting adequate sleep. So this is interesting, right? This is an interesting one to me because I've talked to a lot of fellows recently, and different things have been affecting their sleep, right? Like they're young, they have time, they work like 20 hours or less a week, but they somehow don't get sleep because they're playing video games, they're beating their meat, they're drinking alcohol, they're smoking weed. So all these things are messing up their sleep. They're not working out, they're not eating healthy. All this is messing up their sleep. So once you do everything I said in the other slides, you're eating better, you're working out, your sleep will get better. But sleep is important, guys. Like a lot of you guys are not sleeping, but you're not doing anything productive either, which is a crazy concept, but it's very, very common. Like a lot of people are like, yeah, man, I don't sleep that much, man. Like, because I'm playing video games all night with my boys in the lobby. I'm like, are you getting paid for Twitch? No, what are you talking about? What the fuck are you doing playing 10 hours of video games a day? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, so you told me you don't have time. What are you doing? Oh, I got to work. How many hours do you work a week? Man, almost 16. 60 or 16? 16. So you work 16 hours a week. Like, these are real conversations, by the way. You work 16 hours a week. You wake up at like 2 p.m. because you're playing video games all night. And this is your off day too. And then you're eating pizza and you're wondering why you are not in shape. Like sleep is important, guys. Sleep is very, very important for your fat loss, obviously muscle gain, but also your mindset, for every hormone, for literally everything. Sleep is the best pre-workout and it's the best recovery tool out there. All right. Stop playing so many fucking video games, guys. It's okay to play a video game here or there. I'm looking majestic in this. But anyway, look, bro, look at that cut, bro. I'm telling you, bro, my Jacksonville barber used to go crazy. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so playing video games, guys. Like you can play video games for like if you get all your shit done during the day, you can play video games for like an hour or two or whatever. But a lot of you guys are using video games as like an outlet because you don't like how you are in real life. So instead of self-improving, you just go in the video game, create an avatar, and you're like, dang, this dude's swole, this dude looks good. And you look in the mirror, you're like, fuck, I look like ass. And then you don't work on yourself, right? Because you're literally just focusing on the video game all the time, right? And then it creates you being very sedentary. You're ordering DoorDash, you're sitting down playing Roblox or playing Skyrim or whatever the fuck people be playing these days. And you're not doing anything else. Like I can play video games. I could play like an hour of video games or something like that every once in a while, but I don't really play video games. But if I did, it would be like an hour or something like that. Nothing crazy. But a lot of people play like 10 hours of video games a day. They use it as escape from reality. and they don't work on themselves, right? Like if you get everything done in a day early or some shit and you want to relax and play video games, that's totally cool. I was doing that shit while I was on monk mode, the way I cool down so I don't fucking like, link up with bitches and shit like this. Like, yo, I gotta play video games with my brother, man. That's the only way we could not like, respond to them bitches that's like, hey yo, come through with some shit and waste time. See what I'm saying? You play like an hour of video games, get your mind off of everything that you went through during the day, and then, go to sleep and wake back up the next day and do it again. You feel me? Just execute, execute, execute. Because me and my brother, what was he working like 12 hour shifts, and I was doing like 16 hours, 12 hours, and shit like that. And then after that, you just play little video games, eat dinner, go to sleep, repeat. You feel me? Like you can play, you could do like a 30 minutes hour Call of Duty, some shit like that. But y'all be doing like 10 hours of crazy shit, and you take it seriously, and your emotions are invested in it and stuff like that. My emotions are not invested in video games ever. It's just like if I lose, I lose. I don't give a shit, bro. All right, read more books, by the way, guys. Very, very important to read books. Like besides what the studies say, like books, when you'll notice the difference between you not reading book and reading books. Like my morning routine always includes reading books because reading books literally changes everything. Like it keeps my mind sharp, keeps my mind on track, and then inside of the book is decades, centuries worth of knowledge from people who have already succeeded at what you're trying to succeed at. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of crazy that while you're trying to succeed at something that people are already succeeded at, you won't even take time to read what the fuck advice that they have because that shit will help you get ahead, right? Books really help you stay on track, you know what I'm saying? Stay motivated, but keep your thoughts organized. Like a lot of times you'll self sabotage if you don't read in the morning. When you read in the morning, you will definitely be more aligned, right? Especially with your goals. Books are written by literally the most successful people. Like, Napoleon Hill books they're all fire. Every single one of them is fire. It'll really help your mindset a lot, but you guys don't even open books. Like back in high school, I used to read like every textbook that we had. Like I read the entire chemistry textbook front and back. People just don't put in the effort and they have the time. They just don't prioritize it. So fucking read books, guys. Stop playing around. All right. Wake up earlier and actually get tasks done. So for men specifically, we find fulfillment when we get shit done. We find fulfillment from execution, from accomplishment. That's where we get fulfillment from. We don't get it from living quote unquote soft life and just sitting around beating our meat and shit. All right. You guys be whacking your shit way too much. Here's the benefits of making a to-do list right here. Productivity, of course, because everything's organized. Lessen stress and anxiety because everything's organized. Once you have your daily list organized, you know what the hell you have to do instead of thinking of it in your head. You know what to prioritize, what's going to take the longest, right? And then you can divide out larger tasks because a lot of times larger tasks stress you out. But in reality, the only way to do a larger task is small actions compounded over time, guys. That's what you got to do. Like you break shit up into small actions. Like if you got like a 10 page paper to do or some shit like that, and you've never written a 10 page paper, then you can do like 2 pages for 5 days, and that shit's done. It doesn't sound as hard, right? That's kind of how a lot of things work. Like that's how your fitness goals are going to work too, because you guys think you got to make a big ass change in order to, short term big ass change, but you got to make a long term small changes. That's what's going to change your life. Like that's why I love the compound effect because it made me realize small actions compounded over time will change your freaking life, guys. It's not like just making drastic changes; it's making sustainable small changes and then continuing to do them over time, guys. All right, and last but not least, definitely not least, is stop chasing chicks, guys. A lot of you guys, when you're younger, no, 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 no. I know you guys don't read, so you guys don't know about sexual transmutation, but that's the concept that taking that energy from your seed instead of beating your meat or chasing chicks, you use that energy and ambition to either create business or go up in your level up in your business, your career. And older men tend to know that. Like majority of men before the age of like 35, which is really our peak, before the age of 35, we're just chasing chicks, messing around. And then when we reach 35, every chick we dealt with from like 15 to 35, we no longer talk to and we don't get return on any of the investment. Yeah, we learn some shit, but you can learn that shit after chasing 3 chicks because it's the same thing over and over. It's just a cat and mouse game, the interest game, like it's the same shit over and over. You could have spent you could even spend from 20 to 35, those 15 years building a business and you begin return on investment because it takes time to build, right? And you could have been building your physique. But a lot of you guys do not prioritize your physique. And what ends up happening is you prioritize chicks. And over time, your physique gets sloppier and sloppier and sloppier until you get to the point where you literally so out of shape and all you do is prioritize chickens. They're just like, why would I deal with this out of shape dude? And now you don't know who you are because you've never been out of shape before. But the only reason you don't know who you are is because you're prioritizing chicks instead of yourself. You have to prioritize yourself. And here's the thing, guys, when you chase something and reinforces that you like it in the first place. Like obviously, if a chick is choosing you, like, and she's supporting you, and she's awesome, and she helps your schedule, and she helps like your energy, or she calms you down at the end of the day and she's very supportive of your goals, definitely be with her, commit to her, and do your thing, right? But when your priority is woman, you'll never point to yourself, which is ironic because here's the thing: it's a win-win when you prioritize yourself, and it's a lose-lose when you don't. Because when you don't, you'll never pour into yourself enough to be a man that women are even genuinely attracted to, right? You're gonna have to leave with your money or some shit. And here's the thing: this is a lot of the games these days, right? Ruby Rose says her type is guys who are not interested in her, right? I like guys that don't like me, and then when they start to like me, I don't like them. That's like the games that people play these days, right? And that's why I said it's a win-win situation when you focus on yourself, you're leveling up, and you're not gonna be paying attention to chicks like this. They'll be paying attention to you because you don't like them. All right, guys. So with that being said, y'all know the drill. Link will be in the description for training. So what we do is we get on a phone call, a Zoom call, make sure you're fit for the program. If I find that you're fit for the program and you're dedicated, locked in, you really want to lose fat, level up your life, level up your physique, then I'll sign you on. Link is in the description. Hope y'all have a blessed day.